Hello everyone and welcome back to Meet CISO. I hope you are all doing great. Today we are going to cover very interesting topic. In cybersecurity, documents aren't just paperwork. They are the backbone of trust, compliance and resilience. Imagine a company with world-class technology but no clear rules. It will be a chaos, right? That's why cybersecurity documentation is not optional, it's mandatory. Auditors don't ask if you have firewalls first, they ask if you have the right documents. Policies, standards, and plans are the proof of the security is real. So you are seeing multiple names here, and that's what jumbles the people, right? Checklist, policy, baseline, register, framework, plan, process, playbook. What is the difference between all of this? So these documents are required in all the corporates as per the size of the organization, but we are going to cover today from the security perspective. So let's start. So security documents. First is framework, policy, and standard. That's very high level or must required documents from the company, organization. It can be any organization, but there is a framework, and on the basis of that, policies and standards are created. We will discuss what is the difference between all three, but on the basis of framework, the policy and standard are created. Next is plan, baseline, process, guideline, and playbook. Now, on the basis of the policy and standard, plan, baseline, process, guideline, playbook, this all kinds of documents are created, and this all documents are required from the auditor. So as per the organization size, they can club the documents. It's not mandatory to have all, but as per the organization requirement, they put work instruction, report, checklist, record, log, register. Shortly we will be covering what will be the difference, or what will be the content in all these kinds of document. So this is how, like, this is the main document. On the basis of this, all these documents are created, and this are all the documents which is created on the basis of plan, based process, guideline, and playbook. Yeah. So this is just a logical definition to have top layer. This is called as top layer documentation. This is called as middle layer documentation, and this is called as lower layer documentation. But this is a logical understanding. You will not get such kind of documents that, okay, give me the document from the middle layer. No one will be asking like that. But this is just for your understanding. I have segregated the documents into top, middle, and lower layer. Let's now proceed to understand what is inside, or what kind of content is there in particular document, and how that can help you to secure your organization. We'll start with the framework. What is framework? Document. So framework documents provides the overarching structure. Just focus on the details which I have bold. Okay, so this is overall the overarching structure for managing the risk and compliance. It defines domains, control families, and maturity levels. So let's say ISO is a framework. So ISO framework is there, and on the basis of that framework, the policies are created. So let's say if any organization wants to get abide or certified with ISO 27001, they will be creating the policies or according to the framework which is of ISO. So what is policy? That's an executive level statement, and which sets organization direction and mandatory rules. So there are many documents within policy, like information security policy, acceptable use policy, data privacy policy. So there are many kinds of policies. Now, with policies, the standards will also be created, that is kind of specific, measurable, or requirements to enforce policies consistently. So once the policies are created, that needs to be enforced, and that is how it can be done measurably. That is done with the help of standard. Let's say password length. Password standards would be there. So what should be the complexity and length of the standard? So that is all covered in the standard document. Let's go to the next set of documents. Next is process document. So how, it only answers how the particular thing needs to be done. So let's say incident response, how, what should be the incident response process. So it will cover the how part of it. So as soon as the incident comes, how will we detect, how will we respond, how will we mitigate, or how will we remediate. So that will all be covered in the incident response plan, kind of with the same with the change management. So that covers the how. Next is plan. Plan is the strategies and actions. It will be defined inside plan. So what is your business continuity plan? That will be asked by the auditor. So you will be saying, okay, this is the plan. How will we, like, we have identified this number of devices which is critical. How we will be keeping it safe? How will we uh, working on the preventive controls as well as detective and reactive controls in terms of the in terms of any disaster happens. So what is the disaster recovery plan? So this is all in the plan document. Second is the playbook. Playbook is kind of a particular scenario is created. Let's say in the disaster, let's say in terms of, let's say if the flood comes. So that is the scenario, and on the basis of that scenario, the document is created. Okay, what will be doing? So that is kind of a SOC playbook for phishing response, yeah, or for the ransomware containment. So what the people will be doing at that same at the time if something happens. So that is called as playbook. Next is baseline. So that is the minimum security configuration. So that's like the minimum thing that you have to keep. I'll just give you one example that okay, minimum is the eight character password with one special character, one digit, one small alphabet, one big alphabet. So on the basis of that, that is the minimum security configuration. That is called as a baseline. Guideline is the recommendation. Okay, so you keep the 8 character password, but it is recommended to you put 12 character password. So let's say if you put 7 character password, so if it is breaching baseline, it will not take it. If you put 9 character password, as per guideline, it is 12, but if you are keeping 9, that's fine. So that is kind of a recommendation. Next is checklist. So that gives the reference or required steps. Okay, so let's say if there is activity and there are 20 steps or 20 points that needs to be covered to complete the activity. In that case, the checklist help the person completing the activity to understand whether all the points are ticked. So everything is done or not. So kind of audit checklist or secure configuration checklist. So that all helps the person to understand whether everything is done complete or not. Work instruction is very detailed task level guidance for the task that is given, kind of let's say configuring firewall or configuring rules in the firewall, right? So applying patches. So that is very recurring job. So in that terms, the detailed task level guidance is given, that is called as work instruction. Record or log. So the evidence of activities performed used for compliance and audits. So whatever is done, we need to record or log. So that is called as log document that you should be having. Report, that is the summarized finding, that's the final report. So you should be having the report for all the activities that is occurring within the organization. That's kind of a summary which you can give to the auditors. So saying that, okay, this is what our findings were, this is what we have done, and this is our final report. What is open, what is closed, what is pending, right? So this is kind of a risk assessment report or vulnerability scan report. Okay. Register is again the centralized list of items or tracks. So whatever things you are having, you can keep the register of it. Let's say risk register, asset register, vendor register. So you are having 100 vendors for the big organization. So they have to put a vendor register in place to understand, okay, what are all the vendor, how many are critical, are they compliant or not. So it will be a centralized tracker for the organization. Risk, let's say risk register, how many risks are open, what is the criticality of the risk, when are they getting remediated, who will be the owner of the risk. Everything will be mentioned in the register. It's kind of a centralized view as well as centralized list of items to track. Now, as you went through all the topics, all the types of document, let's see how much you have learned. Okay, let's go through the questions quickly. The first one is, what distinguishes a standard from a policy? Standards are optional, policies are mandatory. Standards are broader than policies. Standard provides specific measurable requirements to support policies. Standards are used only in the physical security. Let me know in the comment section what is the correct answer. What distinguishes a standard from a policy? Second question. An organization adopts ISO 27001 as its cybersecurity framework. To comply, it issues an information security policy requiring encryption of sensitive data. Which of the following would correctly represent the role of a standard in the scenario? A document stating that encryption is optional but recommended for sensitive data. A checklist used by auditors to verify encryption is applied. A requirement specifying that all sensitive data must be encrypted using AES 256 with key rotation every 12 months. A step-by-step procedure describing how administrators should configure encryption on database. I would really like you to pause the video and understand what's the correct option and give me the answer in the comment section. I'll be waiting for your answer. Let's go to the last question of the day. A company experiences a ransomware attack. The SOC team needs to respond quickly. Which of the following correctly maps the role of different documentation types during the incident? The process defines the overall workflow for incident response. The plan outlines recovery strategies. The playbook provides step-by-step actions for ransomware containment. The baseline ensures systems were hardened beforehand, and the guidelines offer best practices for communication. The process sets encryption requirement. The plan defines password complexity. The playbook provides governance authority. The baseline tracks audit evidence, and the guideline enforces mandatory rules. The process is optional. The plan is advisory. The playbook is a checklist. The baseline is a report, and the guideline is a correct charter. The process provides flexible recommendations. The plan sets minimum configurations. The playbook defines organizational direction. The baseline outlines committee scope, and the guideline enforces measurable. Let me know in the comment section what is the correct answer for this question. I'll be waiting for your answer. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please let me know in the comment section on which topic you would like me to make the next video, and do share this video with your colleagues who is into the cybersecurity domain and need help with the documents. Do like, share, and subscribe this video, and see you later in the next video. Thank you.